Hey, hello, namaste. Welcome everyone to The Short Answer. It is a great pleasure to be here with you. Sorry we're running a couple minutes late. We're having, always having technical rearrangements as we are moving locations and working with a setup. So by next month, we should have a studio that we can begin broadcasting in. And I'm very much looking forward to sharing that with you. So before we get started this evening, there are a few announcements that I'm supposed to make. So I have to do that. And they are about other events that are coming up that you might be interested in. And they are quite significant to our times. And that is why we are gathering here, is to create a space where people can anchor, embody, awaken, and step into life as their true, whole, full selves, living in this world as we were meant to be living as creator. So a few announcements here. I'm teaching this weekend starting Friday, Saturday and Sunday, Kashi. It is our Kashi program. We're not going to be at Kashi Ashram this year. We're going to be live streaming it, and so people around the world are going to be joining us for a deep exploration as to how our physiology is represented inside of the deities of Hinduism and how all faiths are similar, what the common ground is, and that common ground happens to be you. And beyond the beliefs that we establish inside of any rituals and programs that we are working with from the outside in, there is a physiological instruction manual that each of the sacred texts have been trying to reveal to us. And so that is my great joy once a year to dive into. So this opportunity won't come around again until next year at this time. And so you still have time to join us for Kashi. You can contact the office, the Institute, and there will be people standing by there tomorrow to help you. There is also a link in the chat that you can connect with in order to do that. Also, the monthly healing transmission is tomorrow evening, coming right up, and I'm very much looking forward to that because of where we get to meet in the silence and in the spaciousness of the field, the quantum field, and the unity that is developing around the world. We have tens of thousands of people joining us for this, and I'm so thankful and grateful to all of you who are participating in that and helping hold the space for this transmission around the world. So join us. That link is also in the chat for you. And there is also a meditation course that I will be teaching, engaging about life mastery through meditation on November 7th and 8th. So that also is right around the corner. And I'm bringing this forward for the first time online as a specific meditation teaching for one reason, and it is because we've never needed it more. And we have to learn to still the mind and allow the mind to follow something, to sense and feel and perceive something that it is supposed to be guided by. And I want to cultivate that inside of humanity with everything that I can in these most amazing times. This is a tremendous opportunity that is in front of us. And so I want to step forward with a meditation course to help you truly benefit from the happenings inside our humanity on this planet at this time. I also am teaching Spiritual B.E.S.T. Those of you that are B.E.S.T practitioners can learn about spiritual integration and supporting that process, because that is what every human being on the planet is doing, and we are here to bring consciousness to that process along with the beautiful work of bioenergetics that my father developed starting in the 70s. And so we are continuing that tradition and expanding it into this now realm of allowing a non-local individual to come into the body and have a very specific personal experience of the divine while they're here on earth. So of course healing on every level is a byproduct of that, and I want to invite you, B.E.S.T practitioners, to consider joining us for Spiritual B.E.S.T. We have many Spiritual B.E.S.T practitioners around the world, and we are so looking forward to increasing that family of support that is growing so beautifully. It's been an amazing thing in my life. And lastly, we also have the BodyAwake Yoga teacher training modules that are in their new form and ready to release. So there'll be a link there for you as well that will allow you to, many people want to become a yoga instructor, Many people are already yoga instructors and they want to learn about BodyAwake yoga, and many people take this course that don't want to be either of those, and they simply want the deep, rich information and the content that is behind the scenes when it comes to really understanding what yoga is and how it facilitates the embodiment process. Morter Institute is about embodiment. Everything that I am here doing is about teaching you how to set yourself free. True liberation can only happen with enlightenment and embodiment. So we have to teach and learn and share and explore what science is showing us, what spirituality has been teaching us forever, and then we have to learn how to become that which we are learning about. It isn't enough to know about it. It is important to know how, but I would really like to share the message as well, to merge with the doing. Allow the beer and the doer to be one. That when we begin to merge those aspects, those different sets of circuits inside of ourselves, we truly can operate as a creator on this planet. And that's why we came, and it also happens to serve humanity in a most amazing way. So we get to bridge all kinds of delight and serious, sacred practices and human application in this ripe, real, now world, all together inside of everything that we're doing in the Institute. So thank you for being a part of this community, and thank you for your yes for being here at the Short Answer. And now we get to dive into some of those topics, okay? So blessings to you all, and thank you for showing up for the Short Answer. So I have a few moments now to talk about the topic. The topic at hand is, I believe the title came out, that says vote. So I want you to understand that I am not a political spokesperson. I'm not here to even encourage a conversation about politics, but I am very interested in you tapping your basic human right, your right as, and your responsibility as a steward of highest consciousness comes along with you voicing yourself. It comes along with you understanding that when you voice something, you stand for a vibration out in the world. And when you begin to stand for anything, whether it's a vote about what we're having for dinner, or a vote about how we're going to spend the weekend, or a vote about how a relationship should handle conversation and conflict and money issues and social differences and those kinds of things, we each need to have our voice. If we really ever want to come alive, we have to bring that up and out from us. And so we are in the Western world, and particularly in the United States right now, we are in a political upheaval. There is so much divisiveness that has happened inside of our consciousness because everyone is living in their heads about an election. And they're trying to figure out what is true and what is fake and what is real and who they can trust and who they can't. And they're even turning to means outside of themselves to try to make those decisions by looking into a crystal ball or even muscle testing for their answers. And I want to say that nothing could be further than why you came to this planet to do that. Nothing could be further than for you to exercise your true basic creatorship, than for you to allow someone else or something else to make your decisions for you. You are truly here to learn how to take the unknown and choose, and create a reality based upon what you choose, rather than trying to do it right. So someone recently told me about people inside of our community, best practitioners, by the way, that were utilizing muscle testing to help people determine how to vote politically. And I have to tell you, nothing could disappoint me more. It is not what my father intended. It is not at all why I continue to teach B.E.S.T and support the world in learning how to do it. But we do use muscle testing in a surrendered moment where a patient or a client lays down on a table and we ask the body certain questions about what are in the highest good for this individual from the perspective of their wholeness and their health and their vitality. And in that surrendered moment, the person, the patient, the client is entrusting the practitioner to steward that with grace, without any kind of opinion, and with complete objectivity and intellectual honesty. And what I know when I heard that people were utilizing muscle testing to determine how to vote, it's absolute insanity relative to what it is that we are here doing as a species. We are here evolving into our consciousness, and we are given the ability to awaken to our right or our latitude, the space in which we can choose. We have to choose. We have to choose. I have watched people use muscle testing to try to learn how to surrender their ego, using muscle testing for every decision in their life. And I have watched them become less healthy because of it. Most of them would never equate the lack of health in their life with the fact that they are muscle testing to decide what to order for dinner, what to buy at the grocery store, and oh my goodness, who to vote for the president of their country. What happens when we do that is we disempower the fire in our belly. We douse it. And when we douse the fire that is in our belly, that is here to give rise to the passion of the Spirit itself, there's no way the Spirit can rise and inhabit this form in its fullness. We have to choose, and then we get to feel and experience what the consequences are of our choices, and then we get to update and learn how to come from a different place within ourselves to choose the next time. That no choice is forever, and let me tell you that no matter what happens in this political situation, it isn't forever either. There is always going to be a beginning and a middle and an end to the reign of anyone in any office, any time. And most of them are begging and borrowing and stealing and cheating and lying and doing all kinds of things to get elected into that position, none of which has anything to do with your spiritual truth. So in your heart of hearts, there's a voice that wants to come out and rise and be heard and be shared. And inside that deep heart of hearts, there's a connection to an even deeper part of you. And it is your deep core wisdom center. And that deep core wisdom center is bestowed with the gift of receiving information from the cosmos in the form of 11 billion bits of information, bombarding you in your gut, in your core in this way. And if you do not honor that by listening and feeling and bringing your own heart into the mix and then letting it rise up to your throat manifesting center so that you can align with that and speak it into existence and create the world that you would love to be living in, and that alone creates a vibrational frequency that transcends your primitive brain and allows these high brain executive centers to fire, to come online, and to be here as pure creator in a body. And when we abuse that, or we disregard it, or we disempower ourselves in such a way, we are spitting in the face of a divine orchestration. We are here to learn what we choose. We are here to learn to decide. Because if there's a moment that so I get on this and my nose starts itching just like it did with my dad. He was just like, oh, you get in the truth of this, and it just start going. This is what's happening. I feel so passionate about this. And what I know is that if you're having difficult making choices, there's medicine in that for you. Make the choices. Build an awareness inside your subconscious that you can choose. And then you can choose again. And then you can choose again and again and again. And nothing will ever stop you from choosing the life that you align with. And if you don't do that, your system will be compromised. So when Lisa asked me, okay, what's the title? We got to put it out there. It's getting ready to start. Let's go. I said, vote. Vote. Vote in every facet of your life. Vote about how you're going to have your day go. Vote about how your day is going to be. Vote about the abundance that's happening in your life. Vote about the yes that is rising in you. Vote to never allow anything to keep you from knowing your true power. And of course, vote in your relationships, vote in your family dynamics, vote inside of your heart of hearts about what matters most. Choose it, decide it, and step out into that. You know what? The universe has no choice but to 100% support you in what you're supposed to learn from any vote that you cast. Anytime, anywhere, it is always going to be true. And by all means, in the United States, it's time to vote. It's time to vote politically. So people ask me, who are you going to vote for? And it's not about that. I can tell you that I will vote from my heart who I feel has the capacity to love. Because any leader that doesn't lead from love isn't a leader. They're just offering up more practice ground for us to come to know the deep truth within us. Period. Now, the interesting thing about that as an explanation is that every single person watching this has their own definition of love. Every single person that's not watching this has their own definition of value and their own value system. And when they vote for that, they're going to have a life experience based upon that vote, not based upon the outcome of an election. When you take a stand and cast it out into the universe for what you stand for, then your system anchors in that. And when you anchor in that, the universe, the photons, and every other aspect of the quantum world has no choice but to respond to your vote, to your choice of a life experience, to the vibrational frequency that you align with. When you vote your own alignment, the universe will support you in a yes. It does not matter in the biggest picture, in the longest run, at the end of the biggest day, what tallies up. What matters is that you know who you are, and that you know that you are a stream that is ever evolving, and that the world that we were living in just a moment ago doesn't exist anymore, and it's never going to. And we have to stand up and step up and allow our deepest truth to come through. And when it does, our lives will be a reflection of that, regardless of who is in office. And we as a people can join as a body of consciousness, standing for one thing, and that is our truth. This is the greatest gift that could ever be bestowed upon a being, and human beings are the only ones on the planet that have the ability to utilize such things. And for us to discard that into a muscle test, or asking someone else's opinion, or to be influenced, or be interested in influencing others in what to think and feel and do and say, is out of alignment. It's out of integrity. It isn't why we're here. We are here to learn to be a creator. So when the invitation is here to vote, I mean a lot about that. And I mean it with all of my heart. That the more you take a stand for whatever it is that you believe in, the more your life will align with your destiny. And when you align your mind with your heart, with your deep core wisdom, and your own chakra 10, which is a pool of energy that represents your destiny, when all of that lines up together, you cannot not have a victorious life. So I'd be interested in loving the other side of an argument. If I were you, I'd be interested in understanding why everyone feels the way that they do. Because in that space, we're standing on common ground. And that is the only way that we will ever know what it means to embody love. It is the only way that we will ever share anything. So, have your vote and allow your neighbor to have theirs. And don't ever think that anyone could vote incorrectly. Just vote, okay? Much love to you all. I'm sure we'll be diving into this and deep topics around it in the masterclass coming up right after this. So you can, if you're not a part of the gold membership, click on the link in here and join us. We'll be starting up in about 7 minutes. I look forward to seeing you there. Much, much love to you all. Namaste.